Thank you, sir. So, money, in relation to money, we said that, uh, yeah, you can seek. So, we are not against money. I mean, uh, after all, the material things are there, created by God and through God, or through men by God, right? So, as long as we enjoy them in moderation, right? So, seek ambition. You want to be a CEO, rise up in your career, seek, but not crave. And crave is when it's keeping you awake at night. If your desire ambition is keeping you awake at night, then that means you're craving. But seek would mean you plan. You say, how am I going to get there? Not just dreaming. I need to plan. If I want to get there, how am I going to get there? So that's the idea. And then if you do get money, then it's an enabler of growth rather than just indulgence. So spend little money on indulgence, but also grow in your mind, right? Now, work is seen as enjoyment, and the outcome is a larger good. Most of us, or many of us, think the outcome of the work is the money we get, right? That's like a side benefit. That's automatic. That happens anyway, right? But the outcome, and we saw how these people that we looked at three profiles, how they were actually kind of executing some of these ideas, or they were doing what they were doing, and we are deriving lessons from them, and these are the lessons, right? So work is enjoyment, and outcome is a larger good, and then relate to others. That's very important. We ought to know how do we relate to others. We relate to others with respect, identification, compassion, and humility. And so, if you look at it, these are the three domains surrounding us, and surrounding us are three domains. One is the domain of work, right? And the other one is the domain of social domain, and the third one is material. All these things, thus, and we relate to them, and we live our life through them. So let's not minimize the importance of the material domain. So in social, you're your family, then you're your friends, and then your co-workers. And so each one of these three domains has to be healthy for you. And if work environment is not good, co-workers toxic, then there are two strategies you have to follow, because that's not the main topic. I'm just mentioning it, like just brushing it over. Okay. So there are two things we do. Either we somehow try to reduce the toxicity in the work environment. And second, given the level of toxicity, how do we let it not affect us mentally as much? So these are the two strategies we try to follow. And then money is the bridge between our work and material things, right? We can't get the material things without the money, right? In that sense, then money is an instrument, right? It's not the end goal, if you will. And so then how does this now, talking about social, so we ought to take care of these three social domains: family, friends, and co-workers. But then the larger humanity, how do we relate to that? And that itself is one whole lecture. Otherness, I call it otherness. Larger purpose, that's where your work connects to the humanity. So somebody who is not your friend is benefiting from your work. And I talk about it. If you're an accountant, 5 other people in the company need your accounting report, but those 5 other people then make decisions about procurement. They make decisions about machines, right? So in that sense, your work doesn't affect only 5 people, it affects 100 people within the company. Then they produce a product, and that product and similar other products produced by similar other people, they probably reach 1 billion people. So I say that, make the calculation in your life by invisible threads. Your work will touch 1 million people. Make the calculation. And there I expand on the idea of your work, no matter what line of work you are in, will touch 1 million people. You don't know them, right? And so that's what we mean by how your work connects to the entire humanity, right? This arrow here. how do we acquire a new perspective of thinking about our life? So first of all is be content now. Tranquility is like your mind is totally at peace, and we live our life in the mind. We live it through our body, but we live it in our mind. And then gratitude and generosity. So gratitude comes from feeling humble. And then purpose, I already mentioned that your work, you see that as contribution to the world. And then knowing I led a good life with all of this, then you say, what is good life? That's higher education, one way of looking at higher education. Okay, so in any case, so now we have covered 7 principles of the leading a happy life. And of course, contribution to the world is a big source of leading a good life, feeling that you led a good life. And so basically, ask these 5 questions, because I want to say that how is a human different from animal? We have the capacity to think. That's a uniquely human faculty, right? And think would mean that we ponder over these important questions of life rather than saying, that's philosophy, don't bother me. And so happy reflection. Okay, I wish you happy reflection, happy contemplation, and that's self-discovery. When you reflect and when you contemplate, you engage in self. From discovery comes self-discovery comes true happiness. Otherwise, we just keep on living in the bubble, and we feel we are happy. So that's the thing. There is a level of happiness that a billionaire might experience, a CEO might experience, right? And I'm not implying that billionaires and CEO have not done what I'm going to say next, but then there is a higher level of happiness. So, for example, happiness that comes from smiling at somebody, happiness that comes from helping somebody cross the road, right? Happiness in thinking about that my work is contribution, happiness in thinking about what my purpose is and how am I serving my purpose, right? And that's a higher level of happiness than the happiness that comes purely from material things, including material plus social things, right? About 60-70% of the people live at this level, not just material and work and all that. Out of those 60%, maybe 20% feel that they are happy. And then only maybe 10% have risen above that level of happiness where they see happiness not just from material things. I'm not saying just in material things. I mean, in material things, I'm saying just from material things. So I'm not denying. You have to achieve a fairly good level of living, satisfactory, comfortable level of living. But there is much more beyond, right? Okay, all right, and I'm done with this. Thank you.